Hey everybody, it's Charlie. We got new Spider-Man Far From Home footage to break down. We finally got confirmation on what kind of a suit he's actually wearing. I know it looks a little bit like Spider-Man Noir, so I'll try to explain what's going on with that. But it just confirms some things that we thought based on the pictures that I posted earlier this week. So speaking of Spider-Man Noir, there's a new round of that Spider-Man PS4 game giveaway. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and leave a comment on the video. The video is obviously just a continuation of Spider-Man's fight with Mysterio at this big carnival that they've been filming at. It's been doubling for Prague in the Czech Republic. Like, they actually just went back to Venice. So you've probably seen some behind-the-scenes pictures of them just running around the canals. Like, you have Tom Holland, you have Zendaya, and then you have the actor that plays Ned Leeds just having fun. This is them just hanging out, but they could always be going back to Venice at some point to reshoot some other footage. But usually what happens is they try to shoot everything that they need when they go to new big cities. So it would be kind of weird for them to take the entire production back there. But the important thing about this, I think, is that they're not doing it with a motion capture suit. They're actually doing it with like a physical suit that they'll probably change a little bit in post-production with special effects. You probably remember all the way back to Homecoming with all the behind-the-scenes stuff that we saw, him in a physical suit doing that bike save. This is what the Stark Tech suit looked like behind the scenes, and then what it looked like in the same scene after they finished post-production. So even though this version of the suit looks much more like the Stark Tech suit, albeit with a Spider-Man Noir twist, it still kind of seems like it's the Stark Tech suit just in a stealth mode, just because of the way the eyepieces are. I think part of the reason why some websites were reporting Spider-Man Noir is because when he turns his head a little bit, it looks kind of like he's wearing goggles, and that's mostly just because of what the practical suit looks like behind the scenes on set. Like when they erase some of these lines in post-production, it looked just like the normal costume, albeit blacked out. But the interesting thing is, too, when we saw this black picture from the carnival, like, okay, maybe he's wearing the stealth suit, maybe it'll be more like camo mode and people will see through him. The weird thing about that is that you would think that they would use a motion capture suit for stuff like that. So maybe they have some weird way of doing it, or maybe it's just black all the time. But you can see he has a belt on it, and obviously he uses his webbing, so he still has his regular web shooters. Those are already black, so it's not like you need to change the colors for those. So everything about the way the costume sits on him, the cowl, the web shooters, the belt, just makes it seem like it's the same suit that he's had that Tony Stark gave to him. It just has some functions that he's unlocked that he didn't know about before. I think that's part of the fun of him getting Iron Man tech back during Homecoming, is that it's like this mystery box present that he's gotten that he doesn't totally understand, and part of the fun of these new movies is just unlocking secret functions that have been there the whole time, he just hadn't figured out yet.
Would you like me to engage enhanced combat mode?
Enhanced combat mode? Yeah.
Activating instant kill.
No. I don't want to kill anybody.
Deactivating instant kill.
The other thing about, quote-unquote, new costume in Spider-Man Far From Home is that I think we're all expecting him to either modify a suit or make his own suit at some point, and it'll look a little bit more like classic comic book Spider-Man and a little less like the Homecoming suit. There was some concept art a little while ago I did a video about. It was almost the same thing with a slightly different spider symbol, and it didn't have the black lines of the Stark Tech suit. There's also some separate unused concept art from Spider-Man Homecoming for a different suit that they didn't end up going with that a lot of people think might serve as the basis for what his newer version of the costume will end up looking like eventually. The only difference here is I would say that they would probably tune some of this darker looking blue a slightly lighter shade to make it a little more comic booky, but you can kind of see with the webbing, it looks almost a little bit more like the suit that they went with during Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield era. When they did the Homecoming suit, they toned a lot of that webbing way down, but the suit that he wore on the set of Civil War behind the scenes actually did have quite a bit of it, so you can kind of tell that they changed their minds a little bit through the process, like here's the version we're going to do while you're on set running around, and that by the time they get to the end of special effects, they've completely decided on a totally different look. For those of you hoping for a Shuri collaboration, because she's supposed to be like the new smartest person in the MCU, most of the scenes we've seen her in showcase this sense of style that she has that's just really cool. So I posted a clip a little while ago of Letitia Wright, the actress that plays Shuri, talking about how her and Peter's characters were talking about ideas for upgrading his suit during Avengers 4.
Man, Tom's my friend. And I was contemplating helping him in the future with his suit and stuff, and we were just going back and forth.
So what might end up happening is I'm not expecting Spider-Man to start running around in a vibranium suit or anything like that, but she might just give him some style tips. he makes the suit and then enhances his webbing with some Wakandan technology. That would seem like the most practical way to incorporate stuff from Black Panther so that it still looks like Spider-Man. Like, you wouldn't know that they would have any influence on any of his stuff unless you saw another scene where he gets an idea from Shuri, like, oh wow, this is actually a really cool idea. So that's really the level of my expectation when it comes to Shuri Spider-Man collaboration. But hopefully they'll appear in a movie at some point together because of all that talk with the Spider-Man villains that were going to show up during the original version of the Black Panther movie. We haven't really heard enough about what they're doing with Black Panther 2 to start theorizing about that, so we'll probably get some news about that after Avengers 4 comes out, because in the comics, if you guys didn't see, they just made Black Panther the head of the new Avengers team. Surprise, surprise, heading into Phase 4, real life Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, the other leaders of the Avengers sort of taking a back seat to the new characters. What a coincidence that Black Panther becomes one of the new leaders of the team. But I'm also expecting Captain Marvel during Phase 4 to shoulder some of that burden. But we'll be able to theory craft a little bit more about that once we actually start seeing Avengers 4 footage. So let me know in the comments, what do you want Spider-Man to do with the next version of his costume? And if he does get some tips from Shuri about tricking his suit out, what do you want that to actually end up looking like? If you guys haven't been playing Spider-Man PS4, you can actually get the noir suit during that. This is what it looks like. It's just more of a jacket. Remember, this is supposed to be a 1930s version of Spider-Man from an alternate universe.
Area secure. Spider-Man, I'm sorry. I was wrong about you. Jameson can go to hell.
Much appreciated, officer.
One question. Is it true you're from another world?
Yeah, it's called Queens. See ya.
They've been dropping some deleted scenes from Ant-Man and the Wasp in the Quantum Realm, so I might do a video for that tomorrow. But whatever my next Marvel video is, I'll just name the giveaway winner during that. Click here for that new Venom trailer, and click here to look at Iron Man's new armor during Avengers 4. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody stay awesome. I'll see you guys tonight.